Hey everybody, welcome back to part 3 of building this Quonset. Alright, so last time we put the roof on and we have some goofy things going on that we need to take care of. Alright, remember, we're getting a lot of our dimensions off of Google Earth and they're not going to be perfect, okay? And then what you're going to want to do is obviously go in and make things look correct as much as you can. All right. So what I've noticed is, and I noticed this right when we built it in the first place, is we need to clean up some things. So here we have the office wall. The office wall is a little taller than our person door here, okay? But if you notice that our roof is interfering with our wall down here. So we're going to fix this. In order to fix this, we need to go back to our shed, okay? Our shed is it's not tall enough, okay? So what we're going to do is make our shed 2 feet taller, because I did some measurements on Google and I was getting distances from the pavement up to the ridge of our roof anywhere between 34 and 36 feet. Okay, it was inconsistent all the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to call it 36. We're going to bring this roof up 2 feet. All right, and then we're going to raise our roof of our hangar up 2 feet. So things will look a little different. Okay, so what we're going to do is first come up to our door shed fascia, which is in the door shed collection. We're going to select the fascia, hold down your control key, select the ceiling and the roof deck. All right, and we're going to, let me make sure keycast is on. There we go. All right, so I need to select these again. Control, select, select. So I have those 3 selected. And let's do a GZ to move those up 2 feet. Okay. Now we need to bring the shed up 2 feet. In order to do that, I can't just select the vertices of these triangles here and here because they're separate. All right, so we're going to recreate these triangles of the door shed. We're going to recreate this. I'm calling them triangles even though technically they're not. Okay, we're going to recreate that one and we're going to recreate that one. Okay, after we raise the height of our shed. All right, so let's select this polygon, hold down our shift and select that. And let's delete those. Delete those faces. All right. Now I need to add in 2 vertices that we're going to use in construction after we raise this. All right. So let's go into first. Let's do this. All right. So let's get a front view, which is tilde-F. Let's turn on X-ray. And then let's kind of zoom in, turn on vertice, and select this top row of vertices. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Let's select this one. Let's select those 2. Okay. And let's GZ 2 feet. Okay, so that brings everything back up to our top. Okay, it meets the roof again. All right, now we need to recreate our polygons, our triangular gable ends of our roof. Let's turn off this. Let's go into shading view. All right, so I have this vertice, this vertice, this vertice that I can make this portion, but I need a vertice at the top. All right, and we're going to add that by selecting our fascia, go into edit mode, click that vertice that's on the bottom, and we're going to shift S and move our cursor to what we have selected. Okay? Then we're going to get out of edit mode of our fascia, select our door shed, go into edit mode, tab, and since we have enabled the extra objects, we have the ability to add a vertice. All right, a single vertice. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift A and add a single vertice. And since our it will add that vertice anytime Blender adds a new object, it adds it where the 3D cursor is, right? Okay, so it added that vertice right there. Okay, so now we have enough vertices to recreate our gable end. So let's select this vertice, the vertice we just added, the vertex that we just added, this vertice, this vertex. Okay, I'm not worried about this one and then these three. Okay, we're just making a new polygon on top. We're not going to split it anymore, so it will be fine. So you have those vertices selected, hit F, and that creates a polygon. Okay, it closes it in, fills it in for F, fill. All right, now we need to make a copy. We need to make a copy of the one we just created and copy it to the other side. Okay, and since we have snap-on, okay, and vertices and active, okay, so with this triangle still selected, you're going to hold down your shift and select that vertice, that vertex right there. You'll have to probably do it twice to make it turn white, but make sure your shift key was held in. Now we can shift D to copy, to duplicate. And when you first do a shift D, you can actually move your object. If you remember, I've been doing a lot of shift D and then I hit escape so I don't move it. Well, here we're actually going to move it. Okay, so all I need to do is select that vertex that I want to snap to and click, and then you notice that we have a copy of that polygon on the other side of the wall. Now the only thing is that this is a copy of this one, so it's facing in the same direction. So let's come up here to our overlay, turn on face orientation. Notice that it's blue, it's facing out, okay? But since we copied it and moved it over, the copy is facing the same direction as our original. We want it to face this direction, okay? So we need to flip it. So go to polygon select, select that polygon, Alt N, and flip. Now it's pointing in the right direction. So when we apply a texture to it, you'll be able to see the texture correctly. Okay, so we made the modifications to our door shed and we're satisfied with that. Now we need to go into our roof and we need to do a couple things to our roof. So select your roof, tab in to edit mode. If you notice that all the polygons for our roof are red, okay, that means that all the normals are facing inside of the thickness of our roof. We want everything to be blue. We want these polygons on the top of our roof to face up. We want the polygons of our ceiling to face down. Okay, so with your polygons, hit A to select all your polygons, okay, and then Alt N, flip. So now they're all blue. So if I apply textures to the top of if I to the roof, we'll be able to see them. Now, eventually I'm going to split out the ceiling of our roof to a separate object so I can put a different texture to it. Not necessarily is the roof deck and the ceiling the same texture, right? So I want them facing down, so if I apply a texture to them, we'll see that, okay? All right, so the next step is to move our roof up 2 feet because we raised our shed up 2 feet. All right, so let's turn off face orientation because we don't need it. All our polygons are selected because they're orange, and we're going to GZ2. So that brings our roof up 2 feet, and it looks nice. Okay, looks good. All right, now we can raise our office wall. So let's get out of edit mode of our roof, select our office wall, go into edit mode, turn on vertice, select, and select our top vertices. Oops. Okay, and let's move those up until they snap to the bottom of our roof. All right, with snapping on, we will GZ and just snap right there. Okay, so now our roof is, our top of the wall for our office is snapping to the bottom of the roof. Now we need to raise our Quonset roof walls up a bit. Okay, so tab out to get out of the office, select the Quonset, tab in to go into edit mode, and we want just the top vertices. Okay, and we are going to raise those up 2 feet. So GZ2. Don't worry about this wall right here for now. We'll take care of this interference later on, okay? Okay, so now we have a better representation of our model. It may not be perfect, but we don't know what the actual true height of this point was, okay? Because we're getting it off Google Earth. Like I say many times in these video series, if you have the engineered drawings, that'd be so much better to model your building, right? Okay, so the next step that we have to do is we need to make our office wall shorter. We need to cut out this corner of our roof. Okay? Okay, let's look at our prototype. And if we look at our prototype, we have more of a cube at the end of the office. It's not a it's not a perfect cube, but a cube nevertheless. So we need to make this notch in our curved wall. We need to make space for this part of the office, right? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a series of loop cuts to our roof so we can delete some unnecessary polygons and then close in the ends. Okay, I know that didn't make sense, but it will here in a second. All right, so let's go back into Blender, select our roof. Oh, no, let's select our office first, because remember, let's go into edit mode. We have a loop cut down the center, okay? And the distance of this office wall from this point right here to where we measured in Google was 120 feet. Well, from here to here is half of our curved roof, okay, which is about 70 feet. So we need to take these lines, this line right here, this edge, and we need to move it in this direction 50 feet, all right? So with edge selected, select that edge, and GY 50 feet. Okay, so now the distance from this point to this point should be 120 feet. Let's find out. Let's select our measure tool. Snap is on. Snap on this corner, hold your mouse in, and snap to that corner. We have 120 feet. Okay, so this office wall is correct. To get rid of the dimension, hover over it, hit delete, and then your select arrow again. Now let's do polygon select. Select this polygon and let's delete that face. Okay, now what we're going to do is get out of edit mode of our office, select our roof, go into edit mode. Now we're going to create a loop cut that is equal to this location of our office wall. So zoom in a little bit. We're going to control R for loop cut and click. And then we're going to drag that line until it snaps to this line. Alright, now we need another loop cut that goes this direction, and it's equal to the location of our load bearing wall. So do Control R, and you'll get, if you move to this edge, the loop cut goes in the other direction. So click and then snap to that wall right there, just like that. Okay, now we need to get rid of what we don't need. So let's turn on X-ray mode and turn on polygon select, and you'll see a whole bunch of dots, and those are the centroids of all those polygons that we have on our roof. Okay, so if you select a centroid, the polygons get selected. So hold in your shift and select the polygons that are inside this, that are part of this notch that we're getting rid of. Okay, so there, just like that. Turn off X-ray and you can kind of see what we have selected. We need to get rid of those polygons, so hit delete, face, and then there's our notch in our roof. Now you'll notice that we'll need to close the end of these polygons. Okay, we need to close these, we need to add faces to these little cutouts. Alright, so let's turn on vertice, and we're going to select 4 vertices each time. So we have these 4, hit F, and that closes that polygon. Select those 4, hit F, closes that, and then do the same to the rest of them. Select 4, F, select 4, F, select 4, F, select 4, oops, not rotate, F. There we go. Now the reason I was doing 4 at a time is because I want each one of these to be individual polygons. I could have selected every one of these and this would have made this one big polygon. Okay, sometimes that's better, but I didn't want to do that. Okay, I wanted each one of these to be separate polygons. Alright, now we have our roof cut. Get out of edit mode and let's look at our prototype. So now we have this corner cut out. Okay, now we're going to add in this boxy part of the office. Okay, and here's where that extra objects add-on for Blender comes in handy. Alright, so select your office wall, tab into edit mode. Now let's do some measuring. So let's go back into Google and let's try to zoom in as much as we can without it going into street. Okay, that's good. Don't want to go into street mode, street view, because that's kind of annoying. Alright, so let's go to path, select where our downspout is to the end of the square, and I'm getting 13.37 Let's do another measurement. $13.13. We're going to call it 13 1/4. Like I said, Google Earth, it's not an exact science, is it? All right, so let's say that's 13 1/4. So in edit mode in Blender, select, make sure you're on vertex select, and let's turn our snapping, let's turn snapping on to edge. Okay. With this vertice selected, let's extrude it in the Y direction 13 1/4. So E, Y, 13.25. So now we get a new vertex with a edge connecting the 2 points, right? Now let's extrude this vertice, this vertex. I'm going to, if I say vertice, I mean vertex, you know, plural, singular, whatever. All right, so let's extrude this vertice to this wall, okay? Since we have edge snap on, we can, with this vertice selected, E, X, because we're going in the X direction, and snap to that wall. Now, we don't need to come across this way because we already have a shared wall, okay? We don't need a polygon on top of a polygon. So let's come back to our first vertice and EX that and snap that to that wall. So now we have 3 lines that we can extrude in the Z direction. Okay, now we need to find the height of our extrusion. All right, so go back into Google Earth and notice that we have a couple measurements to deal with. Okay, this wall, this extreme end wall has a parapet. Okay, a parapet is just an extension of the wall that goes above the roof. All right, and it's open on this end. All right, so we have actually 2 parapets. We have this wall comes up higher to this point and higher to this point. Okay, and then we have a roof down here, right? So let's measure up to the flat roof first. Okay, so with 3D path selected, let's select somewhere that I can get a halfway decent measurement. Select that and select that, and we get about 13 feet. Okay, let's do another measurement. Like I said, I measure more than once to kind of get an average. 13.36. Measure 13. Okay, so 2 of them came up closer to 13, so let's make it 13 feet. Alright, so in Blender we are going to edge select our edges that we just added, shift and click to select those 3, and we're going to extrude those in the Z direction, Z, 13 feet. Okay, just like that. Okay, let's look at our prototype. Okay, top of that wall looks about that high. That looks pretty close to me. Now we need to find out the height of our parapet. And our height of our parapet, if we click here at the bottom, come to the top of our parapet, we're getting 15 feet. I think it's about 2 feet parapet. So let's measure over here to the top. Okay, that's closer to 16 there. Click here, click here. So that's about 2.5. Okay, so if we have 13 to the top, we're going to go another 2.5 feet. Okay. So with those edges are still selected. Okay, so all we need to do is go extrude EZ 2.5. Okay, so that gives us the top of our parapet. All right. Now, there's another way to do this. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Or do I want to do that? I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. Yeah, I do. All right. Let's Control Z out of there and undo what we just did. All right. I'm going to take a quick break and catch my breath. Okay, let's do it this way. All right. Now, with our office wall, we don't have our parapets yet. We're going to make those a different way. So let's turn on vertice, and let's, since those 4 vertices are automatically selected, that's good. Let's hit F to create a face across there, because remember, we have a roof at this point, right? So if we look at our prototype, we have a flat roof right here, and then the parapets go up. So let's do it this way. So with our roof, let's, what we're going to do is we are going to, with our roof selected, let's hit P to make that its own selection. And if I hover in the table of contents, hit P, it zooms down to where we were. Let's call this new piece that we just created, let's call that flat roof. Okay, so office wall flat roof. All right, get out of edit mode and select our flat roof and go back into edit mode. Well, let's get out of edit mode for a second. Let's go to item. Yeah, our scale is 1. We're good. Okay, so go back into edit mode of the flat roof and select that polygon. Now we're going to inset this polygon. We're going to create a basically it's an interior loop cut. All right, we're going to inset the thickness of our parapet. So let's find out what our parapet thickness is. It looks about 8 inches, maybe a foot. Okay, now there's going to be some distortion in this, so it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to go to path, click at the bottom that I try to make a straight line. I think it's about there and there. I get 0.89. That's kind of what I thought. It was close to 0.75, which is about 9 inches. Okay, so I'm going to make that inset 0.75. All right, so with our polygon selected in Blender, hit I, and see inset allows you to make a cut like this inside of a polygon. So I'm going to type in 0.75, and now I have a series of polygons like this. Okay, now what we want to do is we're only concerned with this polygon and this polygon because it's open on the ends. Alright, so select this polygon and this polygon and extrude those 2.5 feet. Okay, so now we have our parapet on top of this part of our office wall, right? Okay, now notice that these lines, that we have triangles here, okay, or angles at the ends of our walls. All right, we can fix that by, we want to separate out our parapet from our roof. All right, so we are going to select these polygons. I'm holding my shift and I'm selecting those polygons that make that parapet. Select those. Okay, this one's going to be goofy to get to. Alright, so now we have those polygons that make up our parapet, right? We're going to hit P, copy those to a new selection. And so here we're going to add in parapet. Okay, so flat roof parapet. Okay, get out of edit mode of our roof, select our parapet. Okay, now go into edit mode, turn on node select, and what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a tool, not a tool, but we're going to take these 4 vertices and we're going to put those on the same plane as these 4 vertices. Okay? How you do that is, now they're going to be on the same x coordinate. Okay? The x of, see, this is our x-axis over here. Okay? And these points, okay, this vertice has an x of negative 72. This vertice has an x of 71 and a quarter. Okay, negative 71 and a quarter. We are going to make the x's of this vertice, this vertice, this vertice, and this vertice the same as the x of these. Okay, so we can come up here and type in, what did I say they were? 72. Okay, so we're going to come up here and type in negative 72, hit enter, and that moves those out so it's they have squared ends, right? Okay, now here's another way to do it. Okay, same with this end. All right, these inside vertices should be equal x to these outside vertices. All right, another way to do that, it's a little bit more complicated, but you can use it later on for other things that make it faster. Okay, I'm going to show you another way. Here we just change the x coordinate in our box up here for our transform, right? Now, if we come up to our snap to transformation pivot point and change that to 3D cursor, okay? Then, if we select one of these outside vertices and shift S, move our cursor to selected, okay? Now, when I select these inside vertices that we want to move, just like that, and we do S, X, 0, it automatically moves all 4 of those to equal where our 3D cursor is. We scaled X 0, all right, and that put all of these on the same X plane. Does that make sense? If not, comment in the video and we'll talk about it. Okay, all right, so now I tabbed out of edit mode. Now our parapet has straight walls. Okay, okay, now a couple things before we end this video is we want to close in the end of our roof and this little part of our roof here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to, what do I want to do? Let me pause and figure out what I want to do. Okay, I think I have it worked out. The small one is relatively easy. Okay, so with the roof selected, let's go into X-ray mode. Let's go into line X-ray mode. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are in the roof. We're in edit mode of the roof. We are going to take this vertice and we are going to extrude it in the Z direction down to this point, down to this edge right here, equal to the top of our new office wall that we created. Alright, then we're going to extrude this one. I'm going to turn on vertex snap. Okay, and we're going to extrude that in the X direction, EX, to this point right here. Okay, now we're going to do edge select. We're going to select this edge that we just added, this edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge of our roof. We're going to hit F. Okay, let's turn off X-ray. Okay, so now we have that wall right there. Okay, that one was easy. Alright, now we want to do basically the same to our end of our hangar, except we need to do this a little bit different. Okay, and how I mean different is the wall of our Quonset and our roof, they intersect right here, but I don't have a vertice where they intersect. Okay, I can easily split these polygons and create a vertice right there, but I don't want to, because I don't want another unnecessary polygon going across our roof, and I don't want to mess with this face that we're going to do our hangar doors on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new object. Okay, and I'm going to create a new object that is just an edge. Alright, and how I'm going to do that is I'm going to get out of edit mode of our roof. I'm going to select our Quonset, go into edit mode, turn on vertice, so I get this vertice in the corner. Okay, is that how I want to do it? Yeah, that's how I want to do it. Okay, so I have this vertice selected. Alright, now I'm going to shift S, move my cursor to that location, so when I add a new object it's going to put it right there. So I'm going to tab out, and we're going to shift A to add a new object, mesh, single vertice, add single vertice. So now I have a vertice right here. We're going to extrude that in the X direction, EX, and we're just going to move that out here. So now I have a edge that goes from here to here. Now we're going to get out of edit mode, and we're going to select our roof, go into edit mode, select this bottom vertice here, shift S, move our cursor to that location, get out of edit mode. Okay, go into our new object, which is vert. Okay, that's what we just added before. Go tab into that, so now we're here and here, and we're going to add a new vertice. Shift A, single vertice, and then we're going to make sure our merge tool and split faces is checked, which it is, and we are going to, how do I want to do this? Yeah, I'm going to extrude this to this point here. Is that going to work? Yep. And there, it just added a vertice where those intersect. Okay, so now we have kind of a triangle. So if I do edge select, select all, we have two lines that intersect, and since we had the auto merge on, it creates a vertice right here. Okay, now we have something to snap to in this corner. So going back, get out of edit mode, select your roof, go into your roof. Okay. Okay, so now that we're in our roof, we're editing our roof, turn on vertice. Now we can select this vertice over here, and we can extrude that in the X, and we can slide that till we snap at that new intersection, right there. Okay. Okay. Okay, now go to edge select, select that edge we just added, and hit P to make a new selection, and then get out of edit mode. Now here is our new object that we just created, that edge. Let's rename that. Let's call this roof, roof end. Okay, and let's go into edit mode of roof end. So select roof end, tab in, go to vertice, select that vertice, and all we're going to do is a series of extrudes and recreate this curve. There's an easier way to do this, I know there is, but that's the way we're going to do it for now. Alright, so E, snap, E, snap, E, snap, E, snap, E, snap. Okay, so let's just do a series of E's and snap to those vertices. Now when you do the last one, all you need to do is select those last two vertices and hit F, and that will automatically select those. Okay, now with edge select, select all, hit F, and now we have the end of our roof. Okay, there's another way we could have done that without having to recreate all those different edges. We could have selected those edges, copied those into the same object as the line that we put at the bottom, and then use the auto merge to automatically create an intersection here, and then selected the vertices and closed the face in. So that could have been done. I'll do that in another video so you can see what I was talking about, but this way it may have taken a few more seconds to do, but it still accomplished the same thing. Okay, now let's check our face orientation, because I think that's facing the wrong direction. Alright, so with our roof end selected, go into edit mode, select that face, Alt N, flip, and everything's blue. Alright, I think we've gone long enough in this video. Alright, the next video we will add in our hangar doors and do some other window cuts in our office and bring out our roof a little bit so it overhangs just a slight bit. Alright, so we're getting there. Alright, I hope you guys saw some tools that you'll find useful in other modeling. So hey, thanks for joining, and be sure to subscribe, tell your friends, hit the notification bell, all that kind of stuff. And if you feel inclined to support me on Buy Me a Coffee, My Physical World. Hey, we'll see you guys on the next video. See ya.